Let's begin by offering our respects to ISKCON founder Acharya and our preeminent Shiksha Guru, His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki
Jai.
Jai.
Om Ajnana-timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Iti Namane Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Swa Padantikam Vande Ham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpataruvyaschа Kripa Sindhuvya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivasati Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Please repeat after me. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo
Om
Bhagavate
Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om
Om
Namo
Namo
Bhagavate
Bhagavate
Vasudevaya.
I'm sorry. Before that, we welcome all of you to our weekly Krishna book classes. Thank you very much for joining. We have with us here today Aja, Deepa, Devina, Divya, Durga Prasad, Hari, Jagrati, Joli. We have Kamala Nandini Mataji. We have Anjali Karnani. We have Karuna, Manju Nihalani, Meenakshi. We have N.C. Venkatchari, Naresh Budrani. We have Auntie Neeta. My husband is there. My parents are there. Then we have Ritu Lalwani. We have Romi. We have Shailesh Latkar. Then we have Shantaram and Sheetal Latkar. Then we have Shivani. We have Shri Radhe Hari Devidasi. We have Swapna Latkar. Upasana, and we have Vivansh. Okay. So in the previous class, we saw the Brahma Vimohana Leela, where Brahma played a trick on Krishna. He wanted to see what would Krishna do if I create the situation where I'm going to kidnap his friends, his Gopa friends and the calves. So how is Krishna going to react? What is he going to do? No, because he was so bewildered when he saw that Krishna is in this picnic with his friends and he's playing like an ordinary child and he's exchanging lunch boxes. So he was thinking, is this the Supreme Personality of Godhead? So let me play a trick. So although it was only for one moment of Brahma's life that he kidnapped, but actually by earthly calculation, one whole year had passed. And we saw how Krishna then expanded as each one of those calves, as each one of those Gopa friends. And for one whole year, the residents of Vrindavan, the mothers, the cows, they did not know that actually this my son or my calf is actually not my calf. And in fact, they were showering even more love because ultimately, love of God is our constitutional position actually, no, because constitutional position for each one of us of each living entity is that we have to serve the Lord. And when do we serve a person? When we love a person is only when we render service to the person. Just as how we as parents, we render so many services to our children only because we love our children. No, so where there is service, there is love. So anyway, after the bewilderment of Brahma, and when he saw that this personality is the one who is actually yes, even though he's in the body of even though he appears to be an ordinary child, he's not an ordinary child. He is still the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and Brahma saw how Krishna had expanded himself as each one of those calves and each one of those cowherd boys. So after that, Brahma, in today's chapter, he offers prayers to Lord Krishna, very, very beautiful prayers, heartfelt prayers, and we can take many tips from this chapter how we should offer prayers to Lord Krishna. No? So let's see Brahma's realization after this particular Leela. So chapter 14 of the Krishna book is titled Prayers Offered by Lord Brahma to Lord Krishna. Lord Brahma said, "My dear Lord, you are the only worshipable Supreme Lord, the personality of Godhead. Therefore, I am offering my humble obeisances and prayers just to please you. Your bodily features are the color of clouds filled with water. You are glittering with a silver electric aura emanating from your yellow garments. Let me offer my respectful repeated obeisances unto the son of Maharaj Nanda, who is standing before me with conch shell earrings and peacock feather on his head. His face is beautiful, he is wearing a helmet and is garlanded by forest flowers, and he stands with a morsel of food in his hand. He is decorated with a cane, a buffalo horn bugle, and a flute. He stands before me with small lotus feet." So see, Brahma, he is the most intelligent person in the universe because he's situated at the topmost planet within the material world. No, within the 14 planetary systems, the Brahma Loka or the Satya Loka is the topmost. So he's the most intelligent being in the universe. And he is offering these prayers. No? So we definitely can accept Lord Brahma's authority. And what is Lord Brahma saying here? You are the only worshipable Supreme Lord. And then he's describing the bodily features of Krishna. He's even telling us what is the complexion of Krishna. He's saying that his bodily features are the color of clouds filled with water. So what does that mean? What is Krishna's complexion? It's the color of the rain cloud just before it begins to rain. So when the cloud is full of water is because it's just about to rain. So when you see a cloud just before it is about to rain, that is the exact complexion of Krishna. So that's the beauty of our Shastras. We even know the complexion of God. Okay, let's continue. My dear Lord, people may say that I am the master of all Vedic knowledge and I am supposed to be the creator of this universe, but it has been proved now that I cannot understand you. You are present before me just like a child. You are playing with your boyfriends and calves, which might imply that you do not even have sufficient education. You are appearing just like a village boy, carrying your food in your hand and searching for your calves. And yet, there is so much difference between your body and mine that I cannot estimate the potency of your body. As I have already stated in the Brahma Samhita, your body is not material. In the Brahma Samhita, it is stated that the body of the Lord is all spiritual. There is no difference between the Lord's body and his self. Each limb of his body can perform the actions of all the others. The Lord can see with his hands, he can hear with his eyes, he can accept offerings with his legs, and he can create with his mouth. So, see, this is the difference between a material body and a spiritual body. Krishna's body is spiritual. Brahma's body is material because he is still within the material world. So, what is the difference between a material body and the spiritual body? As Lord Brahma is saying here, and as we read here in this paragraph, the spiritual body, the senses can be used interchangingly. No, Krishna can does not is not necessary that Krishna has to eat only with his mouth. He can eat with other senses also. So the limbs, the body parts, the senses can be used for all purposes. But material body, no, we cannot eat with our eyes. No, we cannot hear with our nose. So that's the difference between a material body and a spiritual body. Now, what is this Brahma Samhita? Who knows?
Brahma Samhita is a book which is written by Lord Brahma.
Aha. He has composed the Brahma Samhita. How many
Brahma
chapters in the
Samhita.
Brahma Samhita? How many chapters? There are 100 chapters in the Brahma Samhita. In this Brahma Samhita, in 100 chapters, Lord Brahma is glorifying Krishna. And how many of these 100 chapters are available to us currently? It's there in the Veda base. We can see that in our Veda base. Brahma Samhita is there, but we have only one chapter available. The rest of the composition, unfortunately, has been lost due to the influence of Kali Yuga. And this particular chapter, which is available to us, the fifth chapter of the Brahma Samhita, is available to us thanks to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu traveled to South India, he visited a place in Tamil Nadu. He visited a temple in Tamil Nadu called the Adi Keshava Temple. So in this Adi Keshava Temple in Tamil Nadu, it's in the Kanyakumari district. There he finds the manuscript of the fifth chapter and he copies it out with his hand. And that's how it is available to us currently. So these manuscripts, the old manuscripts, are preserved in our ancient temples. Even Chaitanya Charitamrita manuscripts can be found in a temple in Vrindavan. So they are worshipped as Shastra deity. Shastra deity. Not anyone and everyone could have access to these manuscripts. Srila Prabhupada explains that only very highly qualified Brahmanas were allowed to have access to these ancient manuscripts. But of course, today, because of Srila Prabhupada's efforts, we have these literatures in so many dozens and dozens of languages all over the world. It is also available online completely free of cost and we can access it. Yeah, Shailesh, you have your hand raised?
Yeah, I had two questions. One is that Brahma is saying that he has written a Brahma Samhita describing Krishna in detail.
Yes.
And then yet again he is underestimating Krishna. So why is this happening?
Yeah, so see,
I
your
didn't
answer is here.
And the second thing is this picture of Brahma. It's something written on it, but I can't make out what.
Oh no, that is
Oh.
some Sanskrit texts are there. See. See, he has spoken all these because Lord Brahma is the first recipient of Vedic knowledge. At the dawn of creation, he received knowledge from Krishna through the sound vibration of Krishna's flute. And then he also created his created sons. No, there are mind-born sons of Brahma. So this picture is depicting his mind-born sons, Brigu, Narada, like that, and the qualities that are manifest, and some of the shastras here, like the Puranas. This Pulatsya is another son, Marichi. They are all the mind-born sons of Brahma, Atri, like that. When I share it in the group, you can zoom it and see it clearly. Okay. And see here, he said, no, that nobody can understand. Brahma is saying that even I cannot understand Krishna. Where did we read that? See, he's saying it has been proven now that I cannot understand you. So even Brahma, the most intelligent person, cannot understand Krishna. That's why he is bewildered. Even though he has composed a Brahma Samhita, still it's not possible for him to completely understand Krishna. That is Krishna. He's he's inconceivable. Inconceivable. That's the point here that we have to understand. Okay.
Mataji, what does it mean, unconceivable?
Inconceivable means you cannot understand, you cannot conceive, you cannot understand Krishna. That is what it means, inconceivable. Because how can you understand that Mahavishnu is breathing and then from the pores of his skin an entire universe is coming out? If you tell somebody who has no faith in scriptures, he will say, you've gone crazy. How can that be possible? So you cannot conceive, you cannot understand. He's beyond he's beyond the range of our senses.
Okay, thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So coming back to Brahma Samhita, as we discussed, this was discovered by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and he copied it out, and you can read it in your Veda base. Actually, if you have attended Darshanarti in any ISKCON temple at 7 a.m. or 7:30 a.m. depending on the temple, mostly it is at 7 a.m. in ISKCON temples. The song that is played are two verses from the Brahma Samhita only. In the voice of Yamuna Mataji, Srila Prabhupada had established that these prayers should be sung during Darshanarti. Okay. Brahma continued, your appearance as a cowherd child is for the benefit of the devotees, and although I have committed an offense at your lotus feet by stealing away your boys and calves, I can understand that you have bestowed your mercy upon me. This shows your transcendental quality of being very affectionate toward your devotees. But in spite of your great affection for me, I cannot estimate the potency of your bodily activities. It is to be understood that when I, Lord Brahma, the Supreme Personality of this universe, cannot estimate the childlike body of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, then what to speak of others? And if I cannot estimate the spiritual potency of your childlike body, then what can I understand about your transcendental pastimes? Therefore, as it is said in the Bhagavad Gita, anyone who can understand a little of the transcendental pastimes, appearance and disappearance of the Lord becomes immediately eligible to enter into the kingdom of God after quitting the material body. This statement is confirmed in the Vedas, where it is stated, simply by understanding the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one can overcome the chain of repeated birth and death. I therefore recommend that people should not try to understand you by speculative knowledge. So, if one wants to try to understand, we cannot understand, but we can try. So, when we try, then by the mercy of Sri Guru and Sri Krishna, we may be able to understand a little bit of the Lord's pastimes. No, the more we surrender to Guru and Krishna, the more sincerely we are seeking to understand, then Krishna reveals himself to us. This is the way to understand spiritual knowledge. We cannot understand spiritual knowledge by using the speculative process. No, maybe it is like this, or applying logic everywhere, or The way we receive knowledge in schools and colleges, that is not the way that we can understand Krishna, or we can understand about Krishna or spiritual knowledge. Yeah, Shailesh, you have your hand raised.
Here he is speaking to the 6-year-old Krishna, but he is referring to the Bhagavad Gita.
Yes.
So, Lord Krishna, he gives the Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna long after this.
Yes, correct. So, how to understand this is Arjuna is not the first recipient of the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. The Bhagavad Gita was originally spoken by Krishna to the sun god several millions of years ago. He re-spoke it to Arjuna on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. Okay. And also, this knowledge is spoken not only once. Every time Krishna is going to different planets in the material world, and he is speaking this knowledge. Even now, somewhere in some planet in the material world, Krishna is speaking the Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna. Okay, these are all eternal pastimes. The process for understanding you is to submissively give up the speculative process and try to hear about you either from yourself, as you have given statements in the Bhagavad Gita and many similar Vedic literatures, or from a realized devotee who has taken shelter at your lotus feet. One has to hear from a devotee without speculation. One does not even need to change his worldly position, he simply has to hear your message. Although you are not understandable by the material senses, simply by hearing about you, one can gradually conquer the nescience of misunderstanding. By your own grace only, you become revealed to a devotee. You are unconquerable by any other means. Speculative knowledge without any trace of devotional service is simply a useless waste of time in search for you. Devotional service is so important that even a little attempt can raise one to the highest perfectional platform. One should not therefore neglect this auspicious process of devotional service and take to the speculative method. By the speculative method, one may gain partial knowledge of your cosmic manifestation, but it is not possible to understand you, the origin of everything. The attempt of persons who are interested only in speculative knowledge is simply wasted labor, like the labor of a person who attempts to gain something by beating an empty husk of rice paddy. A little quantity of paddy can be husked by the grinding wheel, and one can gain some grains of rice. But if the skin of the paddy has already been beaten by the grinding wheel, there is no further gain in beating even a huge quantity of husk. It is simply useless labor. So if we try to understand Krishna by speculative knowledge, then it is simply a waste of time. What we need is bhakti. If we have even a little bit of bhakti in our heart, then only we can be able to understand Krishna to some extent. Yeah, Shailesh?
Just one line I didn't understand. It says here one does not even need to change his worldly position.
Yeah, change his worldly
What
position
does it
means it doesn't matter you're a Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, man or woman, rich or poor, doesn't matter. Whatever you are, in whatever situation you are, if you have some bhakti in the heart, you can understand. Even a Shudra can understand Krishna. Okay. My dear Lord, there are many instances in the history of human society where a person, after failing to achieve the transcendental platform, engaged himself in devotional service with his body, mind, and words, and thus attained the highest perfectional stage of entering into your abode. The processes of understanding you by speculation or mystic meditation are all useless without devotional service. One should therefore engage himself in your devotional service even in his worldly activities, and one should always keep himself near you by the process of hearing and chanting your transcendental glories. Simply by being attached to hearing and chanting your glories, one can attain the highest perfectional stage of entering into your kingdom. If a person therefore always keeps in touch with you by hearing and chanting your glories and offer the results of his work for your satisfaction only, he very easily and happily attains entrance into your supreme abode. You are realizable by persons who have cleansed their hearts of all contamination. This cleansing of the heart is made possible by chanting and hearing the glories of your lordship. So see, just by chanting and hearing, we can very easily attain entrance into the spiritual world. Otherwise, it is not so easy, it is not so simple, no. But the potency of hearing and chanting about Krishna, glorifying Krishna, is so much that a very difficult and otherwise very difficult process is greatly simplified for us. Because what happens when we chant the holy name, when we glorify Krishna, then automatically our heart is becoming cleansed. The impurities of our heart go away. Anybody who is chanting will be able to tell you that as we chant, then we no longer have attachment for the lower propensities. No, previously one may enjoy very much. I don't know, maybe movies or cricket or so many other things. But as we chant over a period of time, then we lose interest in these lower propensities. It is only a natural byproduct. It's only a natural byproduct. And if it is not happening, then there is something wrong with our chanting. If it is not happening, then we need to recheck the 10 offenses to the chanting of the holy name. Something somewhere is going wrong. Because if we are chanting in the right mood, then definitely the purification will take place. The cleansing of the heart will take place. The Lord is all pervading. As it is stated by Lord Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita, everything is sustained by me, but at the same time, I am not in everything. Since the Lord is all pervading, there is nothing existing without His knowledge. The all pervasive nature of the Supreme Personality of Godhead can never be within the limited knowledge of a living entity. Therefore, a person who has attained steadiness of the mind by fixing the mind on the lotus feet of the Lord is able to understand the Supreme Lord to some extent. It is the business of the mind to wander over varied subject matter for sense gratification. Therefore, only a person who always engages the senses in the service of the Lord can control the mind and be fixed at the lotus feet of the Lord. This concentration of the mind upon the lotus feet of the Lord is called samadhi. Until one reaches the stage of samadhi or trance, he cannot understand the nature of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. There may be some philosophers or scientists who can study the cosmic nature from atom to atom. They may be so advanced that they can count the atomic composition of the cosmic atmosphere, or all the planets and stars in the sky, or even the shining molecular particles of the sun, or of the stars and other luminaries in the sky. But it is not possible to count the qualities of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So, God, His qualities, His pastimes are all ananta, are all unlimited. And we, the conditioned souls, we have limited intelligence. We have limited intelligence. Therefore, with our limited senses, we cannot understand the unlimited glories of Krishna. We cannot understand the unlimited glories of Krishna. So, our Shastras describe that Ananta, who's a direct expansion of the Lord, he has been uh, glorifying Krishna from time immemorial. He has thousands of hoods, right? Ananta Shesha, he has thousands of hoods. And from each one of his hoods, he is glorifying Krishna from time immemorial. And still he is not finished. Neither will he ever be finished with the glorification, because the Lord's glories are so unlimited. As described in the beginning of the Vedanta Sutra, the Supreme Person is the origin of all qualities. He is generally called Nirguna. Nirguna means whose qualities are beyond estimation. Guna means quality and Nir means beyond estimation. But impersonalists interpret this word Nirguna as having no quality. Because they are unable to estimate the qualities of the Lord in transcendental realization, they conclude that the Supreme Lord has no qualities. But that is actually not the position. The real position is that He is the original source of all qualities. All qualities are emanating constantly from Him. How, therefore, can a limited person count the qualities of the Lord? One may estimate the qualities of the Lord at one moment, but the next moment the qualities have increased. So it is not possible to make an estimation of the transcendental qualities of the Lord. He is therefore called Nirguna. So yes, the Lord is Nirgun, Nirakar. That does not mean He does not have any gun or He does not have any akar. No, it means that He has a spiritual gun and a spiritual akar. He has spiritual qualities, not a but several. He has spiritual qualities and he has a spiritual form. It does not mean that he has no qualities or does not have any form. So we should not misunderstand when we say that the Lord is Nirgun, Nirakar. One should not uselessly labor in mental speculation to estimate the Lord's qualities. There is no need of adopting the speculative method or exercising the body to attain mystic yoga perfection. One should simply understand that the distress and happiness of this body are predestined. There is no need to try to avoid the distress of this bodily existence or to attempt to achieve happiness by different types of exercises. The best course is to surrender unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead with body, mind, and words, and always be engaged in His service. This transcendental labor is fruitful, but other attempts to understand the absolute truth are never successful. Therefore, an intelligent man does not try to understand the absolute truth by speculative or mystic power. Rather, he engages in devotional service and depends on the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He knows that whatever may happen to the body is due to his past fruitive activities. If one lives such a simple life in devotional service, then automatically he inherits the transcendental abode of the Lord. Actually, every living entity is part and parcel of the Supreme Lord and a son of the Godhead. Each has the natural right to inherit and share the transcendental pleasures of the Lord, but due to the contact of matter, conditioned living entities have become practically disinherited. If one adopts the simple method of engaging himself in devotional service, automatically he becomes eligible to be freed from material contamination and elevated to the transcendental position of associating with the Supreme Lord. So, just as how the son has every right to inherit the property of his father, in the same way, because we are children of Krishna, we have every right to inherit the qualities of Krishna. Krishna is Satchit Ananda. So therefore, we should also be able to inherit the quality of Satchit Ananda. But because now we are conditioned by this material body that we are forced to die. We are forced to grow old. We are forced to get diseases, although we do not want it, although we do not like it. So, Satchit Ananda, eternal, we are eternal now. Sat means eternal. But then, although we want to be eternal, we don't want to die. By nature, nobody wants to die. By nature, nobody wants to grow old or have a disease. It's because by nature we are Satchitananda. But now we have this material body, and therefore these things are forced upon us. These things are forced upon us. So how can we get back? How can we revive our original consciousness? Is simply by engaging in devotional service and depending upon the mercy of Krishna. There is no drama outside of this that is required. Nothing outside of Krishna we require. Nothing is needed. Just simply engage in devotional service to Krishna and depend on His mercy. That's it. As simple as that. Yeah, Shailesh, you have your hand raised.
It says here, but due to the contact of matter, conditioned living entities have been practically disinherited.
Yeah, that's
So what is the
exactly what
meaning?
I explain now. Because of our contact with matter, because now we have the material body, we are not able to realize our constitutional position. Okay. Lord Brahma presented himself to Lord Krishna as the most presumptuous living creature because he wanted to examine the wonder of his personal power. He stole the boys and calves of the Lord in order to see how the Lord would recover them. Now Lord Brahma admitted that his attempt was most presumptuous, for he was attempting to test his energy before the person of original energy. Coming to his senses, Lord Brahma saw that although he was a very powerful living creature in the estimation of all other living creatures within this material world, his power was nothing in comparison with the power and energy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The scientists of the material world have invented wonders such as atomic weapons, and when tested in a city or some insignificant place on this planet, such powerful weapons create so much havoc. But if the atomic weapons are tested on the sun, what is their significance? They are insignificant there. Similarly, Brahma's stealing of the calves and boys from Sri Krishna may be a wonderful display of mystic power. But when Sri Krishna exhibited his expansive power in so many calves and boys and maintained them without effort, Brahma could understand that his power was insignificant. His power was insignificant. So if Lord Brahma is so insignificant, then imagine us, how much more insignificant we are. So therefore, we must always remember and we must always worship Krishna in a humble state of mind. Humility is a very, very important quality to have in our spiritual life. See, once somebody told Srila Prabhupada, I am your most fallen servant. So Prabhupada told him, you are the most nothing. You are just insignificant. That's all. No? Brahma addressed Lord Krishna as Achyuta because the Lord is never forgetful of a little service rendered by his devotee. He is so kind and affectionate toward his devotees that a little service by them is accepted by him as a great deal. Brahma has certainly rendered much service to the Lord. As the Supreme Personality in charge of this particular universe, he is, without a doubt, a faithful servant of Krishna. Therefore, he could appease Krishna. He asked that the Lord understand him as a subordinate servant whose little mistake and impudence might be excused. He admitted that he was puffed up by his powerful position as Lord Brahma. Because he is the qualitative incarnation of the mode of passion within this material world, this was natural for him and therefore he committed the mistake. But Lord Brahma hoped that since he was, after all, Lord Krishna's subordinate, the Lord would kindly take compassion upon him and excuse him for his gross mistake. So Lord Brahma, he is in charge of the mode of passion. He is in charge of the mode of passion, just as how Lord Shiva is in charge of the mode of ignorance in this material world. And therefore, Lord Brahma's service to Krishna is to create, So that's the service he's rendering to Krishna. So Brahma is saying that, yes, I'm your subordinate and I'm here to serve you. So please excuse my mistake. So what happens is sometimes one may get carried away, just as how the Devatas in Swargaloka or Indra as the king of heaven, because they have so much power, sometimes they get carried away by that power. Sometimes they forget that they are servants of Krishna. So then that time, then Krishna, he plays this Leela and then he shows them what is your real position. Just as how a loving father would correct the child, even Krishna does that to his devotees, to those who are rendering service to him. Lord Brahma realized his actual position. He is certainly the supreme teacher of this universe, in charge of the production of material nature consisting of the complete material energy, false ego, sky, air, fire, water, and earth. Such a universe may be gigantic, but it can be measured, just as we measure our body as 7 spans. Generally, everyone's personal bodily measurement is calculated by the 7 spans of his hand. This particular universe may appear as a very gigantic body, but it is nothing but the measurement of 7 spans for Lord Brahma. Aside from this universe, there are unlimited other universes which are outside the jurisdiction of this particular Lord Brahma. Just as innumerable atomic infinitesimal fragments pass through the holes of a screen window, so millions and trillions of universes in their seedling form are coming out of the bodily pores of Mahavishnu, and that Mahavishnu is but a part and parcel, a part of, that Mahavishnu is a part of the plenary expansion of Krishna. Under these circumstances, although Lord Brahma is the supreme creature within this universe, what is his importance in the presence of Lord Krishna? So we can see how, although Brahma is the topmost personality in this universe, how insignificant he is if you compare him to the fact that there are trillions and trillions of universes. They're all coming out from the body of Mahavishnu, who is nothing but an expansion of an expansion of an expansion of an expansion of Krishna. So then we can realize, and if Brahma is so much insignificant in this scheme of things, then how much more insignificant are we? Lord Brahma therefore compared himself to a child within the womb of his mother. If the child within the womb plays with his hands and legs and while playing touches the body of the mother, is the mother offended with the child? Of course, she isn't. Similarly, Lord Brahma may be a very great personality, and yet not only Brahma but everything that be is existing within the womb of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The Lord's energy is all pervading. There is no place in creation where it is not acting. Since everything is existing within the energy of the Lord, the Brahma of this universe, and the Brahmas of the many other millions and trillions of universes are existing within the energy of the Lord. Therefore, the Lord is considered to be the mother, and everything existing within the womb of the mother is considered to be the child. And the good mother is never offended with the child, even if he touches the body of the mother by kicking his legs. So see here in this photo, you can see how there are Brahmas with so many other heads. Our Brahma has 4 heads, but there are Brahmas with hundreds of heads, millions of heads, and even trillions of heads. This is another pastime that we will see. This was a time when Krishna summoned all the Brahmas from all the universes at that particular place where he was there. So this pastime we will see later in the Krishna book. But the point here is that there are many Brahmas of the many millions and trillions of universes that are existing. Lord Brahma then said that his birth was from the lotus flower which blossomed from the navel of Narayan after the dissolution of the 3 worlds or 3 planetary systems known as Bhurloka, Bhuvarloka and Swarloka. The universe is divided into 3 divisions, namely Swarga, Martya and Patala. These 3 planetary systems are merged into water at the time of dissolution. At that time, Narayana, a plenary portion of Krishna, lies down on the water, and gradually a lotus stem grows from his navel, and from that lotus flower Brahma is born. It is naturally concluded that the mother of Brahma is Narayan. Because the Lord is the resting place of all the living entities, after the dissolution of the universe, he is called Narayan. The word Nara means the aggregate total of all living entities, and Ayana means the resting place. The form of Garbhodakashayi Vishnu is called Narayan because he rests himself on that water. In addition, he is the resting place of all living creatures. Besides that, Narayan is also present in everyone's heart as confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita. In that sense, also, the Lord is Narayan, as Ayana means the source of knowledge as well as the resting place. So here we say what is the meaning of that name, Narayan, the resting place of all living entities. So what happens at the time of dissolution? Everything goes into the body of Mahavishnu as he breathes in. So therefore, he is the resting place of all the living entities. And we see also how Brahma is coming from the navel of Narayan also. But which form of Vishnu is that in particular? From whose navel is Brahma appearing?
Garbhodakshaya Vishnu.
Garbhodakashayi Vishnu, yes. And we are seeing here also how there are 3 worlds, no? The planetary systems, our universe is divided into 3. Swarga, Martya and Patala. So we have the higher planetary systems. Then we have the earthly planetary system and we have the lower planetary systems. So what happens in this middle planetary system where we are located, this is the place where we can accumulate karma. This is called as karma bhumi. Karma bhumi means here we can accumulate karma. But the higher and the lower planetary systems, they are called as bhoga bhumis. Bhoga bhumis means we exhaust whatever karma we have collected, good or bad. Then we exhaust them in the higher or the lower planetary systems. We cannot accumulate karma in the higher or lower planetary systems. That is only here in the earthly planets. It is also confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita that the remembrance of the living entity is due to the presence of the super soul within the heart. After changing the body, a living creature forgets everything of his past life. But because Narayan, the super soul, is present within his heart, he is reminded by him to act according to his past desire. Lord Brahma wanted to prove that Krishna is the original Narayan and that he is the source of Narayan, and that Narayan is not an exhibition of the external energy Maya, but is an expansion of spiritual energy. The activities of the external energy or Maya are exhibited after the creation of this cosmic world, and the original spiritual energy of Narayan was acting before the creation. So the expansions of Narayan, from Narayan to Kṛṣṇa Vishnu, from Kṛṣṇa Vishnu to Garbhodakashayi Vishnu, from Garbhodakashayi Vishnu to Kshirodakashayi Vishnu, and from Kshirodakashayi Vishnu to everyone's heart, are actually Krishna's expansions, manifestations of his spiritual energy. They are not conducted by the material energy. Therefore, they are not temporary. Anything conducted by the material energy is temporary, but everything executed by the spiritual energy is eternal. So even all these Vishnu forms, they are all eternal. They are all eternal. They are not temporary. So see here, this point here. After changing the body, a living creature forgets everything in his past life. But because Narayan, the super soul, is present within the heart, he is reminded by him to act according to his past desire. So this is how we explain. How is it that some people from childhood, they are inclined to a particular field. Somebody may be very expert in drawing, somebody may be very expert in painting, somebody may be a very good singer from childhood itself. But this is actually coming from the past life. No, so the super soul within the heart of the living entity is reminding what was your desire in the past life, no? And even spiritual life, we carry on from where we left off in the past lifetime. Therefore, some people very easily they take to spirituality. Very easily they will take to Krishna consciousness. No, a little bit of preaching, a little bit of scratching to them, and they are ready to become devotees, or they are already devotees. And some people you drag and drag and drag for so many years, but still they did not take to devotional service. It's because of where they left off their spiritual life in the previous lifetime. Lord Brahma reconfirmed his statement, establishing Krishna as the original Narayan. He said that the Lord's gigantic universal form is resting on the water known as Garbhodaka. He spoke as follows: this gigantic universal form is another manifestation of your energy. On account of his resting on the water, this universal form is also Narayan, and we are all within the womb of this Narayan form. I see your different Narayan forms everywhere. I see you on the water. I can feel you within my heart, and I can also see you before me now. You are the original Narayana. So here in this photo, you can see how Mahavishnu is creating these universes by his breathing. They are all golden egg-shaped universes. Then within each universe, we have Garbhodakashai Vishnu. And then from the navel of Garbhodakashai Vishnu, you have here Lord Brahma. You can see Goddess Lakshmi is at the lotus feet of Garbhodakashai Vishnu. Her original residence is actually his heart, but voluntarily she is serving his lotus feet. And then Garbhodakashai Vishnu expands as Kshirodakashai Vishnu, and he enters into the heart of every living entity as the Paramatma. My dear Lord, in this incarnation, you have proved that you are the supreme controller of Maya. You remain within the cosmic manifestation, and yet the whole creation is within you. This fact has already been proved by you when you exhibited the whole universal creation within your mouth before your mother Yashoda. By your inconceivable potency of Yogamaya, you can effect such things without external help. My dear Lord Krishna, the whole cosmic manifestation that we are visualizing at present is all within your body. Yet I am seeing you outside, and you are also seeing me outside. How can such things happen without being influenced by your inconceivable energy? In this photo, you can see Yogamaya is receiving instructions from Krishna. So how many times has Mother Yashoda seen the universal form within the mouth of Krishna? We have already seen.
Once.
Once. Anybody
Two
else?
times.
Twice.
Twice, I think.
Okay. So when was the first time?
When Krishna was eating mud when they complained. That is
Yes,
hospital.
when Krishna was eating mud, and your Mother Yashoda and Krishna said, "No, I'm not." So Mother Yashoda said, "Open your mouth, I want to see." And then she saw the entire cosmic manifestation in Krishna's mouth. Yes, that was one time. And second time, when?
think so when she killed Putna.
When she tried to time him.
When she tried to?
When she tried to time him.
No.
No.
No, when he killed Putna, I think so.
No. Once when she was
Before the
feeding,
mud,
she was
had seen.
feeding, she was feeding Krishna her milk. And at that time, she looked into the mouth of Krishna and she again saw the
Yes.
cosmic manifestation. So twice Mother Yashoda has seen the universal form in Krishna's mouth. And how many times has Krishna shown the universal form? Twice to Yashoda, and other than that?
Twice.
3 times.
4 times.
Twice more.
Twice more. When were the other 2 times?
One was when he went for the peace.
Hastinapur.
When he went as a peace messenger, when he went as a peace
Yeah.
messenger to Hastinapur,
And the
yes,
other in the
and
battlefield.
and the other was on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. Yes, very nice. So,
While
as
narrating the
per what we
Bhagavad
know so far, 4 times he showed his universal form. Okay. Yeah, Deepa, you have your hand raised.
So what was the Hare Krishna? So the next 2 times he has shown Mother Yashoda. One was when he consumed the mud. The second time.
So once Mother Yashoda was feeding him her milk, and then she looked into his mouth, and that time also she saw the universal form.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Lord Brahma stressed herein that without accepting the inconceivable energy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one cannot explain things as they are. He continued, My dear Lord, leaving aside all other things and just considering today's happenings, what I have seen, are they not all due to your inconceivable energies? First of all, I saw you alone. Thereafter, you expanded yourself as your cowherd boyfriends and the calves and the whole existence of Vrindavan. Then I saw you and all the boys and calves as four-handed Vishnus, and they were being worshipped by all elements and all demigods, including myself. Again, they were all wound up and you remained alone, as you were before. Does this not mean that you are the Supreme Lord Narayan, the origin of everything, and that everything emanates from you and again enters into you, leaving you the same as before? So everything comes from Krishna. Everything. Nothing can exist independent of Krishna. Everything comes from him. He is the supreme source of all that exists. Lord Brahma is saying this. Persons who are unaware of your inconceivable energy cannot understand that you alone expand yourself as the creator, Brahma, the maintainer, Vishnu, and the annihilator, Shiva. Persons who are not in awareness of things as they are, contemplate that I, Brahma, am the creator, Vishnu is the maintainer, and Lord Shiva is the annihilator. Actually, you alone are everything, creator, maintainer, and annihilator. Similarly, you expand yourself in different incarnations. Amongst the demigods, you incarnate as Vamana Dev. Amongst the great sages, you incarnate as Parshuram. Amongst the human beings, you appear as yourself, Lord Krishna, or as Lord Rama. Among the animals, you appear as the boar incarnation, and among the aquatics, you appear as the fish incarnation. And yet, you have no appearance or disappearance. You are always eternal. Your appearance and disappearance are made possible by your inconceivable energy just to give protection to the faithful devotees and to annihilate the faithless demons. O my Lord, O all-pervading Supreme Personality of Godhead, O Super Soul, controller of all mystic powers, no one can appreciate your transcendental pastimes as they are exhibited within these three worlds. No one can estimate how you have expanded your Yoga Maya and your incarnations, and how you can, by your transcendental energy, and how you act by your transcendental energy. My dear Lord, this whole cosmic manifestation is just like a flashing dream, and its temporary existence simply disturbs the mind. As a result, we are full of anxiety in this existence. To live within this material world means simply to suffer and be full of all miseries. And this temporary existence of the material world appears to be pleasing and dear on account of its having evolved from a non-body, which is eternal and full of bliss and knowledge. So see, this place, this material world is a place full of anxiety. Doesn't matter who we are, there is anxiety. If we want to have no anxieties, then we have to go to that place where there is no anxiety. That name Vaikuntha. Kuntha means anxiety, Vai means no. So Vaikuntha is that place where there is no anxiety. But the nature of material world is, as long as we are here, there will be anxiety. Okay, now let's see.
I want to
here.
ask you something,
Yes,
Mataji.
yes, Aja.
On that picture, can you say where is this Vaikunta? We saw seven world up
No,
above.
Vaikuntha is not here. No, Vaikuntha, this is just one universe. We have seen the photos in the previous classes now.
Okay.
See, this is only one universe. Like this, there are millions of universes, and above all that, then you have the spiritual world.
Oh, this for just one universe.
This is
Okay.
only one universe, yes. This is
Okay.
our universe.
Oh,
One of trillions and trillions of universes. So you can see in our universe, Lord Brahma is in the topmost planet, Satyaloka.
Oh,
Yeah, Shailesh, you have your hand raised?
I am his father. See here, it is clearly stated that Lord Shiva, Lord Brahma are all expansions of Krishna.
Yes.
And there is another shloka which says that all Sarvadeva Namaskaram Keshavam Pratikachati. So why is this distinction of demigod and all that? All God, everything is Krishna. It could be any form of Krishna.
Yes, see, form. What do you mean by form of Krishna? When we say form of Krishna, we can worship Krishna and his plenary expansions as the supreme personality of Godhead. But Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva, they see, as we discussed, from Krishna we have Balaram coming. From Balaram, we have the first quadruple expansions. From the first quadruple expansions, we have Narayan. Then we have the second quadruple expansions. And then we have the three Vishnus, no? Mahavishnu, Garbhodakashay Vishnu, Shirodakashay Vishnu. And from the navel of Garbhodakashay Vishnu comes Lord Brahma. So just as how a country can have many ministers, so there are many devatas, there are many gods, but there can be only one president under whom all the ministers are working. So there are different departments, no? The prime minister, he has different departments. He has the labor minister, he has the external affairs minister, he has the home minister, he has a finance minister. Like that, all these other devatas are fulfilling the roles of different ministers. So Lakshmi is in charge of the finance ministry. No, Lord Brahma is the home minister. Like that, these devatas are in charge of different ministries. Now, when it comes to respecting the devatas, of course, the Vaishnava respects all the devatas. There is no doubt about that, because it's not a joke to become a devata. It's a very, 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 very exalted position. So we do not disrespect anyone. But the point is, we should worship the devatas in their position. Now, if we glorify Lord Brahma as a supreme personality of Godhead, it's not right. No, it's not correct on the person who's glorifying him as a supreme personality of Godhead. Neither is Lord Brahma going to be pleased with that, because even the devatas are devotees of the Lord. Now, we worship Lord Ram. We also worship Hanuman, because Hanuman is a perfect servant of Lord Ram. But if we worship Hanuman as the supreme Lord, will Hanuman like it? Is he going to approve of it? No, because even Hanuman wants you to glorify Lord Ram. Correct? So therefore, we are very respectful to all the devatas, but we should worship them in their correct position, or we should glorify them in their correct position. We can glorify, for example, Lord Brahma, that yes, you are the creator, you have created these bodies, you have created these planetary systems. So we are very grateful to you. No, we can worship, we can glorify Ganpati as that personality who has written the Mahabharata upon the instruction of Vyasadeva, of which Bhagavad Gita is a part, and therefore now we are able to have access to it. So yes, we can glorify them, but always in their correct position, because then we will not be pleasing even the devatas. That is the point. Does that answer your question? Okay. My conclusion is therefore that you are the supreme soul, the absolute truth, and the supreme original person. And although by your inconceivable transcendental potencies you have expanded yourself in so many Vishnu forms and also in the living entities and other energies, you are the supreme one without a second, the supreme super soul. The innumerable living entities are simply like sparks of the original fire, your lordship. The conception of the super soul as impersonal is wrong, because I see that you are the original person. Persons with a poor fund of knowledge may think that because you are the son of Maharaj Nanda, you are not the original person, that you are born just like a human being. They are mistaken. You are the actual original person. That is my conclusion. In spite of your being the son of Nanda, you are the original person, and there is no doubt about it. You are the absolute truth, and you are not of this material darkness. You are the source of the original Brahma Jyotir as well as the material luminaries, the sun, moon, and stars. Your transcendental effulgence is identical with the Brahma Jyotir. As it is described in the Brahma Samhita, the Brahma Jyotir is nothing but your personal bodily effulgence. There are many Vishnu incarnations and incarnations of your original qualities, but all those incarnations are not on the same level. You are the original lamp. Other incarnations may possess the same candle power as the original lamp, but the original lamp is the beginning of all light. And because you are not one of the creations of this material world, even after the annihilation of this world, your existence as you are will continue. So see this, remember all this is spoken by Lord Brahma, okay? And what Lord Brahma is saying that yes, although there are many expansions, plenary expansions, they have the same potency, the same power as Krishna. But still, Krishna is that original person from whom everyone has emanated. Now, when we light some birthday candles and we see all the candles are burning, all the candles may appear to be the same. But still, there was one original candle from which the other candles were lit. So, Krishna is that original candle from whom all other expansions have emanated. Yeah, Shailesh?
Is he saying here that all the avatars of Lord Vishnu are not the same, are
Yes.
not on the same level?
Exactly. They are not on the same level. They have the same potency, but still they have come from Krishna, not vice versa. That's the point. Krishna is that original candle from whom everybody has appeared. Krishna has not appeared from anyone. In that sense, they are not at the same level. Okay?
Then what we're trying to say is Lord Ram, for example.
Yes, Ram also has come from Krishna. Krishna has not come from Ram. Okay? It's from the first quadruple expansion that Lord Ramachandra appears actually, if you want to go into technicalities. But again, Krishna is that personality from whom everyone has come and not vice versa. Even though they may have the same potency, the plenary expansions have the same potency, but still Krishna is the original candle. Because you are the original person, you are described in the Gopala Tapani Upanishad as well as in the Brahma Samhita as Govindam Adi Purusham. Govinda is the original person, the cause of all causes. In the Bhagavad Gita, it is stated that you are the source of the Brahman effulgence. No one should conclude that your body is like an ordinary material body. Your body is Akshara, indestructible. The material body is always full of threefold miseries, but your body is Satchit Ananda Vigraha, full of bliss, knowledge, and eternality. You are also Niranjana, because your pastimes as the little son of Mother Yashoda or the lover of gopis are never contaminated by the material qualities. So here is another name of Krishna, Niranjana. Niranjana means Krishna is never contaminated by material qualities. And although you are exhibited yourself as so many cowherd boys and calves, your transcendental potency was not reduced. You are always complete. It is described in the Vedic literature, even if the complete is taken away from the complete, the supreme absolute truth, it remains the complete supreme absolute truth. And although many expansions from the complete are visible, the complete is one without a second. Since all your pastimes are spiritual, there is no possibility of their being contaminated by the material modes of nature. When you place yourself as subordinate to your father and mother, Nanda and Yashoda, you are not reduced in your potency. This is an expression of your loving attitude toward your devotees. There is no second identity to compete with you. A person with a poor fund of knowledge concludes that your appearance and pastimes are simply material designations. You are transcendental to both nascence and knowledge, as it is confirmed in the Gopal Tapani Upanishad. You are the original Amrita, the indestructible nectar of immortality. As confirmed in the Vedas, Amritam Shashwatam Brahma. Brahman is the eternal, the supreme origin of everything, who has no birth or death. So, first of all, from Krishna comes the Brahman effulgence. It's not vice versa. The Mayavadis would say from the Brahman, so the supreme truth is the Brahman effulgence. From the Brahman effulgence, personalities like Krishna and Ram appear. This is the Mayavad philosophy. But here we can very clearly see Brahma is saying that Krishna is the source of Brahman effulgence and not vice versa. If I believe in Brahman effulgence, but I don't believe in Krishna because I say God cannot have a form, then it is as absurd as saying that I believe in the sunshine but I don't believe in the sun. The sunshine is coming from the sun. It's not vice versa. The sun cannot come from the sunshine. So that is one point here. And the other point here, what Krishna is saying that Krishna is always whole. No, even though from Krishna all these incarnations are appearing, that doesn't mean that Krishna himself, his potency is reduced. No, still Krishna remains as a complete whole. It's not like how if you have a cake and from that cake you are cutting out pieces, then the cake doesn't remain whole. No, now the cake is cut into different pieces. But Krishna is not like that. Even though from Krishna these incarnations are appearing, still Krishna remains as whole, complete. Yeah, Shailesh?
What is this Gopal's Tapani concept?
It's one of the Upanishads. There are 108 principal Upanishads. So this is one of the Upanishads.
What does
Naresh?
it talk about?
Oh, those details I don't have. I only know what is said here. Okay, because we don't have access to these Upanishads as a whole as such. So when Prabhupada quotes them in their literatures, that much only we know. Yeah, Naresh, you have your hand raised?
Wanted to know what is the meaning of nascence?
Nascence means ignorance. Where did we read that? Let's see the...
Nascence and knowledge.
Nascence and knowledge. So nascence means ignorance.
Thank you.
Okay, in the Upanishads, it is stated that the Supreme Brahman is as effulgent as the sun and is the origin of everything, and that anyone who can understand that original person becomes liberated from the material conditioned life. Anyone who can simply be attached to you by devotional service can know your actual position, birth, appearance, disappearance, and activities. As confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita, simply by understanding your constitutional position, appearance, and disappearance, one can immediately be elevated to the supreme kingdom after quitting this present body. Therefore, to cross over the ocean of material nascence, an intelligent person takes shelter of your lotus feet and is easily transferred to the spiritual world. So, see, it takes intelligence. It takes intelligence for one to surrender to Krishna. Because if one is going to be coming up with so many other speculation or speculative theories, no, why should I surrender? God does not exist, or all gods are equal, but I want to worship so and so devata, or the Baba in my village, he is the supreme personality of Godhead. All these speculative things make one less intelligent. It takes intelligence for one to surrender to Krishna. If I surrender to a particular demigod, then I will go to the planet of that particular demigod, and that particular demigod is not in the spiritual world. That particular demigod is in the still in the material world. Even Lord Brahma is still in the material world. No, so if I worship or if I have an attachment to one particular devata, then I will go to that particular planet where that devata is residing. So intelligence is to surrender to Krishna, because Krishna is the one who's living in the spiritual world. So that is intelligence. Taking to Krishna consciousness does not mean that we have blind faith. It does not mean that we are fanatics. No, it actually means that we are intelligent. There are many so-called meditators who do not know that you are the Supreme Soul. As stated in the Bhagavad Gita, you are the Supreme Soul present in everyone's heart. Therefore, there is no necessity of one's meditating on something beyond you. One who is always absorbed in meditation by your original form of Krishna easily crosses over the ocean of material nascence. But persons who do not know that you are the Supreme Soul remain within this material world in spite of their so-called meditation. If by the association of your devotees a person comes to the knowledge that Lord Krishna is the original super soul, then it is possible for him to cross over the ocean of material ignorance. For instance, when a person mistakes a rope for a snake, he is filled with fear. But as soon as he understands that the rope is not a snake, he is liberated from fear. If one understands you, therefore, through your personal teachings as stated in the Bhagavad Gita, or through the teachings of your pure devotees as stated in Srimad Bhagavatam and all other Vedic literatures, if one realizes that you are the ultimate goal of understanding, he need no longer fear this material existence. So see again, there is nothing outside of Krishna that is required for us to attain success, to attain the goal of this human life. No drama outside of Krishna consciousness is required. So-called liberation and bondage have no meaning for a person who is already engaged in your devotional service. Just as a rope is not fearful to a person who knows that it is not a snake, a devotee knows that this material world belongs to you and he therefore engages everything in your transcendental loving service. Thus, there is no bondage for him. For a person who is already situated in the sun planet, there is no question of the appearance or disappearance of the sun in the name of day or night. It is also said that you, Krishna, are just like the sun and that Maya is like darkness. When the sun is present, there is no question of darkness. So for those who always remain in your presence, by engaging in your service, there is no question of bondage or liberation. They are already liberated. On the other hand, persons who falsely think themselves to be liberated without taking shelter of your lotus feet fall down because their intelligence is not pure. So when you are facing the sun, there is no question of any darkness. When we move our face away from the sun, only then we are in darkness. So as long as we are engaging in devotional service to Krishna, then there is no question of bondage or liberation. It means already we are in a liberated state. Even though a devotee may be physically present in the material world, still he is considered to be in the liberated state if he is engaged in the devotional service of Krishna. Because when we engage in devotional service of Krishna, then we are connecting with Krishna. And when we are connected with Krishna, then we are in the liberated state. Then we cannot say that we are in bondage. If one therefore thinks that the super soul is something different from your personality and thus searches out the super soul or the supreme Brahman somewhere else, in the forest or in the caves of the Himalayas, his condition is very lamentable. Your teachings in the Bhagavad Gita are that one should give up all other processes of self-realization and simply surrender unto you, for that is complete. Because you are the supreme in every respect, those who are searching after the Brahman effulgence are also searching after you. And those who are searching after super soul realization are also searching after you. You state in the Bhagavad Gita that you yourself, by your partial representation as the super soul, have entered into this material cosmic manifestation. You are present in everyone's heart and there is no need to search out the super soul anywhere else. If someone does so, he is simply in ignorance. One who is transcendental to such a position understands that you are unlimited. You are both within and without. Therefore, your presence is everywhere. Instead of searching for the super soul anywhere else, a devotee only concentrates his mind on you within. Actually, one who is liberated from the material concept of life can search for you, others cannot. The example of thinking the rope to be a snake is applicable only to those who are still in ignorance of you. Actually, when one mistakes a rope for a snake, the existence of the snake is only within the mind. The existence of Maya similarly is only within the mind. Maya is nothing but ignorance of your personality. When one forgets your personality, that is the conditioned state of Maya. Therefore, one who is situated upon you, both internally and externally, are not illusioned. So our problem is that we have forgotten our relationship with Krishna. We have forgotten that we are the eternal servants of Krishna. We have forgotten that we are parts and parcels of Krishna. And when we forget that, then we are in ignorance. Then we have moved our face away from Krishna. We have become Bahir Mukhis. No, we have moved away from Krishna. But now again we have to turn our face to Krishna, engage in devotional service to Krishna, chant the holy name, and then we can revive our Krishna consciousness. Revive. When we say revive, it means it is already there in us. Only thing we have forgotten. So we have to only revive what we have forgotten. We have to revive our lost consciousness. One who has attained a little result of devotional service can understand your glories. Even one striving for Brahman realization or Paramatma realization cannot understand these features of your personality unless you bestow on him the result of at least a slight bit of devotional service. One may be the spiritual master of many impersonalists, or he may go to the forest or to a mountain cave and meditate as a hermit for many, many years, but he cannot understand your glories without being favored by a slight degree of devotional service. Brahman realization or Paramatma realization are also not possible even after one searches for many, many years unless one is touched by the wonderful effect of devotional service. So, bhakti, bhakti, bhakti. There is no other way, there is no other way, there is no other way. At least some slight tinge of bhakti we should have. Only then we can attain success. Therefore, my dear Lord, I pray that I may be so fortunate that in this life or in another life, one second, I cannot see here. Wherever I may take my birth, I may be counted as one of your devotees. Wherever I may be, I pray that I may be engaged in your devotional service. I do not even care what form of life I get in the future, because I can see that even in the form of cows and calves or cowherd boys, the devotees are so fortunate to be always engaged in your transcendental loving service and association. Therefore, I wish to be one of them instead of such an exalted person as I am now, for I am full of ignorance. The gopis and cows of Vrindavan are so fortunate that they have been able to supply their breast milk to you. Persons who are engaged in performing great sacrifices and offering many valuable goats in sacrifice cannot attain the perfection of understanding you. But simply by devotional service, these innocent village women and cows are all able to satisfy you with their milk. You have drunk their milk to satisfaction, yet you are never satisfied as much as those engaged in performing sacrifices. I am simply surprised, therefore, with the fortunate position of Maharaj Nanda, Mother Yashoda, and cowherd men and gopis, because you, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Absolute Truth, are existing here as their most intimate loving object. My dear Lord, no one can actually appreciate the good fortune of these residents of Vrindavan. We are all demigods, controlling deities of the various senses of the living entities, and we are proud of enjoying such privileges. But actually, there is no comparison between our position and the position of these fortunate residents of Vrindavan, because they are actually relishing your presence and enjoying your association by dint of their sensory activities. We may be proud of being controllers of the senses, but here the residents of Vrindavan are so transcendental that they are not under our control. Actually, they are enjoying their senses through service to you. I shall therefore consider myself fortunate to be given a chance to take birth in this land of Vrindavan in any of my future lives. So, see, Lord Brahma, he's saying that to take birth in the land of Vrindavan doesn't matter which kind of body he gets, he says in the beginning. No, doesn't matter what form of life he gets. So, which means even if he's even a small tiny ant in Vrindavan, he will consider himself to be very, very fortunate. No, he says it doesn't matter what form of I have, what form of life I get in the future, but he wants to take birth in this land of Vrindavan in his future life. My dear Lord, I am therefore not interested in either material opulences or liberation. I am most humbly praying at your lotus feet for you to please give me any sort of birth within this Vrindavan forest, so that I may be able to be favored by the dust of the feet of some of the devotees of Vrindavan. If I am given the chance to grow as a humble blade of grass in this land, that would be a glorious birth for me. But if I am not so fortunate to take birth within the forest of Vrindavan, I beg to be allowed to take birth outside the immediate area of Vrindavan, so that when devotees go out and they will walk over me, even that would be great fortune for me. I am just aspiring for a birth in which I will be smeared by the dust of the devotees' feet, because I cannot see that everyone here is simply full of Krishna consciousnness. No one here knows anything but the lotus feet of Krishna or Mukunda, for which the Vedas themselves are searching. So see, Lord Brahma is saying that I even would like to be a humble blade of grass, even if not in Vrindavan, on the outskirts of Vrindavan. So when every time people when every time devotees enter Vrindavan or they are leaving Vrindavan, then they will trample over me, and by getting the dust of the lotus feet of the devotees, then Brahma says that I will be very, very fortunate. So see, it's so much importance is given to the Lord and his devotees by none other than Lord Brahma himself. So devotees are like touchstones. Anyone who comes in touch with a devotee, he can attain all success. It is confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita that the purpose of Vedic knowledge is to find Krishna. And it is said in the Brahma Samhita that it is very difficult to find Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, by systematic reading of the Vedic literature. But he is very easily available through the mercy of a pure devotee. The pure devotees of Vrindavan are fortunate because they can see Mukunda, Lord Krishna, all the time. This word Mukunda can be understood in two ways. Muk means liberation. Lord Krishna can give liberation and therefore transcendental bliss. The word also refers to his smiling face, which is just like the kunda flower. Mukha means face. The kunda flower is very beautiful and it appears to be smiling. Thus, the comparison is made. So, two meanings for the word Mukunda. Mukunda means he is the giver of liberation, and also it means that he has this smiling face like this very beautiful kunda flower. The difference between the pure devotees of Vrindavan and devotees in other places is that residents of Vrindavan have no other desire but to be associated with Krishna. Krishna, being very kind to his devotees, fulfills their desire. Because they want Krishna's association, the Lord is always prepared to give it to them. The devotees of Vrindavan are also spontaneous lovers. They are not required to strictly follow regulative principles because they are already naturally developed in the transcendental love for Krishna. Regulative principles are required for persons who have not achieved such a position of spontaneous love. Brahma is also a devotee of the Lord, but he is an ordinary devotee subject to following regulative principles. He prays to Krishna to give him the chance to take birth in Vrindavan so that he might be elevated to the platform of spontaneous love. So all these residents of Vrindavan are on the stage of spontaneous love, spontaneous love. But as is explained here, Brahma is not at that stage of spontaneous love for Krishna. He has to follow those regulative principles. And what to speak of us conditioned souls. So we have to follow the 4 regulative principles. We have to chant our 16 rounds, and we have to follow no meat eating, no intoxication, no illicit relationships, no gambling. We have to follow. So when we follow this regulated lifestyle, then we are purifying our hearts. We can purify our hearts. So then we can develop love for Krishna. But the residents of Vrindavan, they are already on the spontaneous stage. They love Krishna spontaneously. Lord Brahma continued, "My Lord, sometimes I am puzzled as to how your Lordship will be able to repay in gratitude the devotional service of these residents of Vrindavan. Although I know that you are the supreme source of all benedictions, I am puzzled to know how you will be able to repay all the service that you are receiving from these residents of Vrindavan. I think of how you are so kind, so magnanimous, that even Putana, who came to cheat you by dressing herself as a very affectionate mother, was awarded liberation and the actual post of a mother. And other demons belonging to the same family, such as Agasura and Bakasura, were also favored with liberation and achieved you. Under the circumstances, I am puzzled. These residents of Vrindavan have given you everything: their bodies, their mind, their love, their homes, their possessions. Everything is being utilized for your purpose. So how will you be able to repay your debt to them? You have already given yourself to Putana. I surmise that you shall ever remain a debtor to the residents of Vrindavan, being unable to repay their loving service." So see, the love of the devotees in Vrindavan is so much that Brahma is saying that even Krishna will not be able to repay the debt of the love that he is receiving from the residents of Vrindavan. Just imagine. "My Lord, I can understand that the super excellent quality of the service rendered by the residents of Vrindavan is due to their spontaneously engaging all natural instincts in your loving service. It is said that attachment for material objects and home is due to illusion, which makes a living entity conditioned in the material world. But this is only the case for persons who are not Krishna conscious. In the case of the residents of Vrindavan, such obstructions as attachment to hearth and home are non-existent, because their attachment has been directed unto you, and their homes have been converted into temples by your constant presence there, and because they have forgotten everything for your sake, there is no impediment. For a Krishna conscious person, there is no such thing as impediments due to attachment for hearth and home, nor is there illusion." I can also understand that your appearance as a small cowherd boy, a child of the cowherd men, is not at all a material activity. You are so much obliged by their affection that you are here to inspire with more loving service by your transcendental presence. In Vrindavan, there is no distinction between material and spiritual because everything is dedicated to your loving service. My dear Lord, your Vrindavan pastimes are simply to inspire your devotees. If someone takes your Vrindavan pastimes to be material, he will be misled. My dear Lord Krishna, those who deride you, claiming that you have a materialistic body like an ordinary man, are described in the Bhagavad Gita as demoniac and less intelligent. You are always transcendental. The non-devotees are cheated because they consider you to be a material creation. Actually, you have assumed this body which exactly resembles that of an ordinary cowherd boy, simply to increase the devotion and transcendental bliss of your devotees. My dear Lord, I have nothing to say about people who advertise that they have already realized God, or that they realize, or that by their realization they have themselves become God. But as far as I am concerned, I admit frankly that for me it is not possible to realize you by my body, mind, or speech. What can I say about you, or how can I realize you by my senses? I cannot even think of you perfectly with my mind, which is the master of the senses. Your qualities, your activities, and your body cannot be conceived of by any person within this material world. Only by your mercy can one understand to some extent what you are. My dear Lord, you are the supreme Lord of all creation, although I sometimes falsely think that I am the master of this universe. I may be the master of this universe, but there are innumerable universes, and there are also innumerable Brahmas who preside over these universes. But actually, you are the master of them all. As the supersoul in everyone's heart, you know everything. Please therefore accept me as your surrendered servant. I hope that you will excuse me for committing the great offense of disturbing you in your pastimes with your friends and calves. Now, if you will kindly allow me, I will immediately leave so you can enjoy your friends and calves without my presence. My dear Lord Krishna, your very name suggests that you are all attractive. So that name Krishna means all attractive. The attraction of the sun and the moon are all due to you. By the attraction of the sun, you are beautifying the very existence of the Yadu dynasty. With the attraction of the moon, you are enhancing the potency of the Lord, the demigods, the Brahmas, the cows, and the oceans. Because of your supreme attraction, demons like Kamsa and others are annihilated. Therefore, it is my deliberate conclusion that you are the only worshipable deity within the creation. I repeat. Therefore, it is my deliberate conclusion that you are the only worshipable deity within the creation. Accept my humble obeisances until the annihilation of this material world. As long as there is sunshine within this material world, kindly accept my humble obeisances. In this way, Brahma, the master of this universe, after offering humble and respectful obeisances unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead and circumambulating him 3 times, was ready to return to his abode, known as Brahmaloka. By his gesture, the Supreme Personality of Godhead gave him permission to return. As soon as Brahma left, Lord Krishna immediately returned to the bank of the Yamuna and rejoined his calves and cowherd boys, who were situated just as they had been on the very day they had vanished. Krishna had left his friends on the bank of the Yamuna while they were engaged in lunch, and although he returned exactly 1 year later, the cowherd boys thought that he had returned within a second. That is the way Krishna's different energies act. It is stated in the Bhagavad Gita that Krishna himself is residing in everyone's heart and he causes both remembrance and forgetfulness. All living entities are controlled by the supreme energy of the Lord, and sometimes they remember and sometimes they forget their constitutional position. His friends, being controlled in such a way, could not understand that for 1 whole year they were absent from the Yamuna's bank and were under the spell of Brahma's illusion. When Krishna appeared before the boys, they thought, Krishna has returned within a minute. They began to laugh, thinking that Krishna was not willing to leave their lunchtime company. They were very jubilant and invited them. My dear friend Krishna, you have come back so quickly. All right, we have not as yet begun our lunch, not even taken one morsel of food. So please come and join us and let us eat together. Krishna smiled and accepted their invitation, and he began to enjoy the lunchtime company of his friends. While eating, Krishna was thinking, These boys believe that I have come back within a second, but they do not know that for the last year I have been involved with the mystic activities of Lord Brahma. After finishing their lunch, Krishna and his friends and calves began to return to their Vrajabhumi homes. While passing, they enjoyed seeing the dead carcass of Aghasura in the shape of a gigantic serpent. When Krishna returned home to Vrajabhumi, he was seen by all the inhabitants of Vrindavan. He was wearing a peacock feather in his helmet, which was also decorated with forest flowers. Krishna was also garlanded with flowers and painted with different colored minerals collected from the caves of Govardhan Hill. Govardhan Hill is always famous for supplying natural red oxides, and Krishna and his friends painted their bodies with them. Each of them had a bugle made of buffalo horn and a stick and a flute, and each called his respective cows by their particular names. The cowherd boys were so proud of Krishna's wonderful activities that, while entering the village, they all sang his glories. All the gopis in Vrindavan saw beautiful Krishna entering the village. The boys composed nice songs describing how they were saved from being swallowed by the great serpent and how the serpent was killed. Some describe Krishna as the son of Yashoda and others as the son of Nanda Maharaj. He is so wonderful that he saved us from the clutches of the great serpent and killed him, they said. But little did they know that 1 year had passed since the killing of Aghasura. In this regard, Maharaj Parikshit asked Sukadeva Goswami how the inhabitants of Vrindavan suddenly developed so much love for Krishna, although he was not a member of their families. Although he was not a member of any of their families. Maharaj Parikshit inquired, during the absence of the original cowherd boys, when Krishna expanded himself, why is it that the boys' parents became more loving toward him than toward their own sons? Also, why did the cows become so loving toward the calves more than toward their own calves? Sukadeva Goswami told Maharaj Parikshit that every living entity is actually most attached to his own self. Outward paraphernalia such as home, family, friends, country, society, wealth, opulence, and reputation are all only secondary in pleasing the living entity. They please only because they bring pleasure to the self. For this reason, one is self-centered and is attached to his body and self more than he is to the relatives like wife, children, and friends. If there is some immediate danger to one's own person, he first of all takes care of himself, then others. That is natural. That means he loves his own self more than anything else. The next important object of affection after his own self is his material body. A person who has no information of the spirit soul is very much attached to his material body, so much so that even in old age he wants to preserve the body in many artificial ways, thinking that his old and broken body can be saved. Everyone is working hard day and night just to give pleasure to his own self, either under the bodily or spiritual concept of life. We are attached to material possessions because they give pleasure to the senses or to the body. The attachment to the body is there only because the I, the spirit soul, is within the body. Similarly, when one is further advanced, he knows that the spirit soul is pleasing because he is part and parcel of Krishna. Ultimately, it is Krishna who is pleasing and all attractive. He is the super soul of everything, and in order to give us this information, Krishna descends and tells us that the all attractive center is He Himself. Without being an expansion of Krishna, nothing can be attractive. Yeah, Hari, you have your hand raised.
One small question. So basically, it is mentioned that in the previous paragraph, Krishna has a conversation with Brahma, and when he is leaving, he is the cowherd boys feel that he has written within a second. But before that, it is told that although he returned exactly 1 year later, that I couldn't get. So he's exactly after the conversation with Brahma, he is returning after 1 year. So, but it feels like he is returning within a second. That's what the understanding, or yeah.
See, what had happened is, after Krishna ke Lagasura, they have this picnic, all the boys, they sat down to have lunch, right? And then they realize that the calves are not to be seen. So Krishna says, I will personally go and search for the calves. So for the cowherd boys, they sat down to have lunch. Krishna said, I'll go and see the calves. And then Krishna has immediately returned within a moment. And they said, oh, we have not yet opened our lunch boxes. So come and we will eat together. So for the cowherd boys, in their mind, this is what has happened. But what has actually happened is when Krishna went in search of the calves, he realized that Brahma has stolen the calves. And then he realized, and then when he comes back, he sees that even the Gopa friends are not there. And so this whole pastime of the Brahma Vimohana Leela takes place for 1 whole year. But actually, once Brahma brings back the calves and the boys are sitting in the exact same place. And for them, it's like, oh, Krishna went in search of the calves and immediately he has returned. That's all.
Okay. Okay. So thank you. So this is the reason the villagers know the killing of Aghasura after 1 year, or
Exactly,
it's two
yes.
different.
Yes, because of this
Exactly.
only,
Okay.
this pastime was revealed to everyone after 1 year.
Okay. So that is the reason behind it. Okay. Thank you.
Yes. Okay. Which one did we read last? Did we read this?
Yes, Mataji.
We read this?
Yes, we did. We read the Sukhdev Goswami told
This,
Maharaj
whatever is
Parishad.
attractive within the cosmic manifestation is due to. No, I don't think we read this paragraph.
No, we
Oh.
didn't do this.
Yeah, this we didn't read. Whatever is attractive within the cosmic manifestation is due to Kṛṣṇa. Kṛṣṇa is therefore the reservoir of all pleasure. The active principle of everything is Kṛṣṇa, and highly elevated transcendentalists see everything in connection with him. In the Chaitanya Charitamrita, it is stated that a Mahabhagavat or a highly advanced devotee sees Kṛṣṇa as the active principle in all moving and non-moving living entities. Therefore, he sees everything within this cosmic manifestation in relation to Kṛṣṇa. For the fortunate person who has taken shelter of Kṛṣṇa as everything, liberation is already there. He is no longer in the material world. This is confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita. Whoever is engaged in the devotional service of Krishna is already on the Brahma Bhuta or spiritual platform. The very name Krishna suggests piety and liberation. Anyone who takes shelter of the lotus feet of Krishna enters the boat for crossing over the ocean of nations. For him, this vast expanse of material manifestation becomes as insignificant as the water in a calf's hoof print. Krishna is the shelter of all great souls, and he is also the shelter of the material worlds. For one who is on the platform of Krishna consciousness, Vaikuntha or the spiritual world is not far away. He does not live within the material world where there is danger at every step. So this material world's nature is that there is danger at every step. Padam padam yat vipadam. At every step there is danger in this material world. But if one is engaged in devotional service to Krishna, then automatically one, although he may be physically present in the material world, it is considered to be that he's already on the Brahma Bhuta platform. He's already on the spiritual platform. He's already in the liberated state, although from the external angle of vision, he's in the material world. In this way, Krishna consciousness was fully explained to Maharaj Parikshit by Sukadeva Goswami as he recited to the king the statements and prayers of Lord Brahma. These descriptions of Lord Krishna's pastimes with his cowherd boys, his eating with them on the bank of the Yamuna, and Lord Brahma's prayers unto him are all transcendental subject matters. Anyone who hears, recites, or chants them surely gets all his spiritual desires fulfilled. Thus, Krishna's childhood pastimes, his sporting with Balaram and the cowherd boys in Vrindavan were described. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport to the 14th chapter of Krishna, prayers offered by Lord Krishna, prayers offered by Lord Brahma to Lord Krishna. So on that note, by the mercy of Sri Guru and Sri Krishna, we come to the end of today's presentation. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Do we have any questions or comments?
Mataji, can I ask you a question? In the beginning, you told about Brahma. How many prayers we have? Is it one prayer we have, one chapter?
Yeah, this chapter is describing the prayers Lord Brahma offered to Krishna after the Brahma Vimohana Leela. And after that, there are other prayers that are offered in other Leelas, but that comes later. After this Brahma Vimohana Leela, these are the chapters that were offered by Brahma. These are the prayers that were offered by Brahma.
No, in the beginning, you mentioned where the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu found the prayer.
That is Brahma Samhita. That is, that is a composition of Lord Brahma in which there are 100 chapters.
Okay, but we only have one chapter, right?
Yeah, we have only one chapter available.
Okay, thank you. Hare Krishna.
Mataji, I have a question.
Yes.
The thing is, because in Vrindavan, Krishna, he appeared as the child of every mother for 1 year.
Yes.
So is it that they also did not remember that? I mean, the boys did not remember about him going and killing Agasura. But what about the parents where he stayed for 1 year and he was living with each one of them? So did nobody remember that? That's my question.
No, no. So the boys, for the boys, it was just one moment, right? But for the residents of Vrindavan, I mean the parents, 1 year had passed, but they didn't know that. Okay, for them, yeah, the 1 year has passed like 1 year, but they were thinking that their sons are their original sons. But for the boys, the Gopa friends, it was just one moment. That's how they perceived the boys who were kidnapped. They perceived that 1 year to be one moment. But
Exactly.
1 year for the parents was 1 year only. But they didn't know that our boys are missing or have been kidnapped because Krishna expanded himself as those boys. For
Okay, so it's
them,
the
the 1 year
boys that
was
did not
one.
realize. The boys did not realize that 1 year had passed.
Yes, yes,
But
exactly.
when they went back to the village to their parents,
Yes.
then they were told the truth, is it?
No, no, they were not told the truth. They just went back. They are thinking that now we have returned from the forest, and the parents are thinking, yes, they have returned from the forest, but they don't know that 1 year has passed. The boys don't know, the parents know. But the parents, for them, every day the boys are coming now because the boys are going to herd the calves, and every day they go and they come. So for them, it
Right,
was like
but
any other day they have returned.
yeah, but were they related the story after 1 year?
They relate the story of Agasura killing. After 1 year, they say that yes, Agasura was killed.
All right, okay. So then they came to know later, all of them, or not really.
They came to know that Agasura was killed, but they never
Yeah,
came to know that Brahma had kidnapped the boys.
okay. Okay, so for them it was not 1 year, or that means that I'm a little confused. So they didn't come to know the truth anyways, ever. It was just that in that moment he was killed, but they didn't know that 1 year had passed.
Right,
Like, all right,
right,
okay,
right. Now, yes,
got
that's
it,
good.
got it. Okay, and one more question. I didn't get there were four times of the universal form. One was the when he was eating the mud, one when he was being fed, one was in the battlefield of Kurukshetra, and the fourth.
Fourth is when Krishna went as a peace messenger before the war. He went to the Kauravas as a peace messenger to Hastinapur with a peace
Okay,
proposal.
got it.
And
Yeah,
that time Duryodhan tried to capture Krishna. At that time he showed his
correct.
universal form. So these
Okay,
are the
thank
four
you.
things.
Thank you, Mataji.
All
Thank you.
right, you're welcome. Anything else? Shailesh? You have your hand raised?
Yeah, does that mean that the boys have aged 1 year or
Yes.
they have not?
Yes, yes, they have aged 1 year. They have aged 1 year. Yes.
Okay.
This is
Because
how
I thought
Krishna
that they
went
go
from being
through.
5 years old to 6 years old. Shri Radhe Hari, you have your hand raised.
What is the meaning of Niranjana and the Arka? They are other mean. One is Niranjana and one is starting with A, I think. Ayan or Ayan, Narayan, Ayan.
Where did you see that?
Okay, like Narayan. Narayan, it's Ayan, right? Narayan, Ayan. Meaning of
Narayana.
Ayan.
Nar means living entity and Ayana means resting place. So Narayana means the resting place of all the living entities.
And then the other one is Niranjana.
Niranjana
Niranjana.
means the Lord is never contaminated by material qualities.
Okay, and the other one is Arka or something starting with A, the word A. There's another name for
Achintya?
no. Okay, never
Is
mind.
it Akshara?
Yeah, yes.
Sudha something.
Indestructible, right, Mataji?
Yes, correct.
Thank you,
Spot on.
thank you.
Mataji, one more question. Sorry. How old is Krishna now? 6 or 7?
Six. He's 6 years old. Anything else? All right. So today there is no exam. Okay, today is an exam-free day.
Thank
So
you, Mataji.
see you all next week. Till then, have a nice week in Krishna consciousness. Hare Krishna,
Thanks.
Hare Bol.
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Namaskar.
Krishna.
Thank you so much, Mataji.
Thank
Hare
you.
Krishna. Hare Krishna. Thank you,
Thank
Mataji.
you.
Krishna.
Hare Bol Mataji. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thank you
Hari
so
Bol.
much.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna.